Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Good. Lu Lang Hu Bu Lu Lang Chapa Abui
Chapa Lang Sayadaw.
Yogis also Chapa Liang.
Chapa Lang.
I see. Lu Lang Pachiam Abui
Cham Lang Sayadaw.
Pai Lak Holu Jason Jimbo. Okay. Tonight we will talk about rising and falling again. We will go into the rising and falling a little bit deeper. The literature said, the Buddhist literature, Ubbanubananam Sankharanam Kaya Mewa Pasati. Whenever conditioned things of mind and matter arise, the manner of their cessation must be noted. This means when we note the rising and falling of the abdomen, we must do it with inclined mind to the nature of impermanence. Yes, this attitude, this mindset, the impermanence, everything is impermanent. This attitude or mindset is a very important preparation for the practice of meditation. Without this attitude, a yogi might spend a considerable time with contrary assumption that the objects of this world might be permanent. This is an assumption that can block the development of insight. So we must have the attitude in our mind when we know the rising and falling. Everything is impermanent. In the beginning of the practice, you can take the attitude of impermanence on faith. Later, when your meditation becomes stronger and deep, this attitude or this faith will be verified by personal experience.
Kim mẹ sau đó thầy sĩ con chỉ lệ kinh là hả y biết 講嘅題目咧是關係即個普通嘅旁起甲塔落啦，特別今日伊要講嘅是較深淡薄。成日都講啲佛經內邊伊有講啦，即個世間嘅物件甲了是心甲物質爾啦，甲了是因為條件甲有嘅啦，所以這項嘅物件，甲了物件因為是心甲物質伊甲發生嘅，所以袂人關即個感覺本是因為有即個心甲物質，伊甲人家會有即個感覺，所以袂人關嘅時，人會報道會碰起甲塌落嘅時會感覺啦。伊叮當嘅時，安怎碰起，安怎塌落嘅時，人嘅心理，人嘅心愛有即個準備講，這世間嘅物件，甲了物件是無常嘅啦。所以if人自身嘅ယောဂ，人嘅心內面有安尼款嘅即個安款嘅想法啦 ，OK， 這想法是真正要緊嘅啦，對人自身嘅人來講是真正要緊嘅啦，因為假使講人無安尼款嘅看法甲想法啦，為人佇關即個報道嘅碰起甲塌落啦，人會有倒頭邊嘅看法，倒頭邊嘅看法就是蝦米咧？即個世間是永恆嘅啦 ，permanent 是常嘅啦，袂變嘅啦。安尼款嘅唔對嘅看法咧，伊會互人袂看到即個當嘅地位袂浮起來啦，所以伊會導致這地位浮起來，所以人尤其咧，為人佇學即個地位上時，人佇關即個報道碰起甲塌落嘅時，人愛知，人嘅心理愛知，有安尼款嘅準備講，這世間嘅物件甲了是無常嘅，所以人有安尼款嘅信念，安尼款嘅信心講，即個世間是無常嘅，所以人一個即start 訓練即個地位上嘅時候，了後甲尾人家己再經驗，因為人自身人家己嘅經驗所以伊會配合啦，所以安尼款對人來講是較有利益嘅啦，較有利益嘅。
By paying constant and particular attention to inclining your mind towards the cessation, the person away of conditioned things, you will gain insight into the dissolution of mind and matter. However, when we say you must incline your mind towards the person away or cessation of phenomena, we do not mean that you have to observe and note as person away, without having seen the true cessation by your own experience. If you imagine or visualize the cessation and note on that imagination, that is not what the scripture intends. If yogis do that, they will only delay their progress in meditation. The way of noting on the objects of observance, on the objects of awareness, must be usual and natural. You have to observe and note in the usual way as rising, falling, sitting, touching, lifting, pushing forward, dropping, and so on. Only one so observing and noting, you have to incline you have to incline your mind towards the fact of passing away or cessation. As you incline your mind intensely, as you incline your mind intensely in this way, as time goes by, your samadhi, your concentration will get stronger and deeper. And then you will actually come to perceive the cessation of mind and metta.
Sayadaw 接落嚟講，咱when 啲訓練即個啲位生時，所以咱用心嚟去觀啦，伊個目標。安尼看啦，咱就會，if 咱用心觀準準，咱就會慢慢會談到即個地位啦。即個地位就是會看到即個物質心甲物質嘅生滅啦，dissolution 就是講伊變化啦特別Sayadaw講啦，when 咱佇觀嘅時，咱愛有安尼款嘅心理，愛有安尼款嘅準備講即個感覺嘅物件，甲了是無常嘅，特別伊毋是講咱標題觀即個目標嘅時觀講伊直直變。伊直直變，這物件是變的，這物件是變的。安尼款調題，伊講，if 咱是安尼款做啦，這款嘅訓練是唔對嘅辦法的啦。因為對 if 咱對調只佛內面講嘅安怎去觀呢？伊是安尼款嘅。when 迄個目標咱有影觀甲準準觀甲真正捌的時近的時候，咱就會慢慢發現到伊個真實的形啦，了伊個觀是真正安怎講是真正自然的啦 ，natural way 唔是講咱去調題上加念佇咱的心講這物件直直變的，伊唔是，伊是咱看直直觀迄個物件。看甲好啦，學甲到後尾來，咱家己會明白，講原來我佇觀即個寶島嘅頂當嘅時，伊碰起塔落嘅頂當嘅時候，是咱嘅腳舉起來伸出去放落嘅時when 咱直直佇用心佇觀心無走嘅時候，咱慢慢會明白，即款嘅明白嘅心互咱浮起來伊家己會浮起來，所以咱安尼款嘅觀安尼款嘅即個有即個款嘅看法啦甲是對嘅啦，因為咱知when 咱開始要訓練時，咱知甲了物件是無常嘅，特別咱知是知，特別咱特別用咱嘅經驗觀着觀準了觀了迄個物件，了伊家己。因為咱直直觀常嘅物件，伊直直變化誒，即個伊誒即個是常嘅，所以伊即個物件因為咱嘅心無走了咱閣有即個samadhi，就是講咱有即個鎮定咱會定力了咱看物件有了定力咱看物件看準，伊誒定力會互即個智慧浮起來，所以咱看到即個心。甲物質的伊個舒適的形呢是安怎？伊浮起來伊就是慢慢變化變即個甲是對的觀了類智慧浮起來甲是真實的。
For example, when observing and noting the rising movement of abdomen, as soon as you finish noting, the manner of arising of the abdomen ceases to exist. When noting and observing on the falling movement of the abdomen, as soon as you finish, noting the manner of falling of the abdomen ceases to exist. In this manner, yogis must bend their mind on the Indian physics. Yogis must bend their mind on the Indian physics of phenomena. In this way of contemplation, the noting mind is trained emphatically to look for the cessation after cessation. And because of that continuous stress, concentration and wisdom continue to build up. Concentration and wisdom get stronger and stronger. Then yogis can start to comprehend the nature of cessation, kaya Dhamma in Pali. Of course, the actual comprehension of cessation or impermanence occurs only when the yogi reaches the Bhanga Jnana, the insight into cessation, the perishable nature of mind and matter. However, when the 5 controlling faculties become balanced and sharp, yogis are able to experience the nature of cessation even before they reach Bhanga Jnana. While observing and noting the rising and falling movement of the abdomen, the rising seems to be left behind at the end of the rising. It does not flow into falling. The movement of the falling also seems to be left behind at the end of the falling. It does not flow into the next rising.
OK，接落来Sayadaw伊互一个例子啦。伊讲，when 咱伫观咱的腹肚的时啦，所以when 咱一个观了这个腹肚伫伊伫浮起来，还是伫塌落的时，咱一个还未观了呢，OK。before 迄个腹肚即个浮起来伊会观就 already 咱就会看到伊变了。常常的when 伊腹肚伫塌落的时，when 咱伫观伊腹肚伫塌落的时，咱就会观尔伊的即个观的即个when 伊形还未变到了尔，伊的观 already 无了so 伊观的心 already 无了啦。so 安尼看咱的yogi 就是直直面对安尼款的观即个物质when 伊腹肚伫叮当的时 when 伊叮当还未了呢咱会观即个观即个物质叮当的即心already 已经变了所以咱直直安尼款观安尼款训练咱的即个心啦观即个形即物质的形所以直直观就观伊的即个变的形会就来就变现啦所以因为安尼款咱直直因为咱观甲真正集中咱的心咱的 concentration 真正用咱的定力正用的时候咱的即个智慧就浮起来when 咱的智慧就浮起来咱 咱看到这个假呀Dhamma就是讲这个物质的法啦哈，伊直直化去，直直化去所以咱的这个Vipassana这个地位线内边伊是有一个勘站啦就是讲邦加尼啦 ，because 咱训练是咱的地位when 咱的地位越来越就讲成熟mature 的时候，所以伊会到一站，过去过一站，过去过一站，所以到这站叫做邦加尼啦，就是讲咱会关掉的物件，就是讲这个物质这个心心甲物质伊是关掉呢伊就化去关掉伊就化去了，所以这个无关系到咱的这个佛教底啦，就是讲佛内边有讲有5项的物件啦5佛教底，所以讲为咱yogi伫观这个心甲物质的时为咱到这个勘站的时啦，伊啦咱的这个5项的物件5佛教底，就是讲成个咱的这个正念正定正念咱的心有5项个了啦。when 伊是真正平衡的是 balance 然后伊个真正 sharp 就是讲伊因为咱的心会定啦，真正勇所以咱这观的物件伊就关掉了然后伊关掉的物件是关掉虾米咧就是讲迄个物件一下浮起来呢，伊就变啦一下浮起来伊就变，伊免讲接去第2项的心这个心一个浮起来伊就变啦，一个心浮起来伊就变啦Sayadaw就是要解释互咱听when 咱到这勘站修到这个勘站的地位时，伊是安尼款的情形Sayadaw
Also, in walking meditation, when noting and observing lifting, moving forward, and dropping down of the foot, it is the same. Yogis will find that the manner of lifting the foot seems to be left behind at the end of lifting. It does not flow into pushing forward. The manner of pushing forward seems to be left behind at the end of pushing forward. It does not flow into dropping down. The manner of dropping down is left behind at the end of dropping down. It does not flow into next lifting of the foot. Some yogis would report to their teacher, the meditation teacher at the interview, that they could see a small break or gap between the rising movement and the falling movement of the abdomen. Yes, some yogi say that. This is how yogis start to see or to realize the cessation. However, this does not happen to them throughout their sitting. They don't notice the cessation all the time. Only in those moments when the 5 controlling faculties are in balance and strong, will they perceive the cessation. After a while, they may not see any cessation again. So they must merely keep on noting the usual things, such as rising, falling, pain, wandering thought, and so on. However, successive notings on the object of awareness bring about concentration. When the accumulated samadhi or concentration gets strong enough, the yogi will eventually reach Bhanganyana, the insight into cessation. And there, he or she will encounter the cessation as though he or she is seeing them with his or her own eyes. When one reaches this level of insight, called Bhanganyana, he or she is said to have reached what is called Balawa Vipassana, a strong and powerful Vipassana.
接落嚟就係咯，解釋啦。為咱啲訓練行成嘅時，想想本啦，為咱搞到一個幫家人啦，會看站嘅時候，為咱啲關咱嘅卡舉起來嘅時 ，lifting 啦，舉起來時，未吞出去呢，伊嘅即個關啊，伊會關到伊別去了，แล้วwhen 伊吞出去嘅時候，伊嘅卡啊未吞到了嘅時候，伊關到伊嘅未吞出去呢，伊關嘅即個嗰隻別了，แล้ว when 伊卡要放落來時 ，drop the foot 嘅時候 ，when 伊要放落來伊卡嘅時候，伊嘅卡伊嘅卡要放落來時，但係擺啊是佇即個伊心關嘅阿妹嘅，你知，所以伊是心先關掉了，伊嘅卡再來發生啦，所以伊未接嘅即個物件，伊未接嘅，所以伊啥是有一個安怎講有一個空安尼款啦，有一個 gap 啦。when 伊啲吞出去嘅時，伊啲關吞出去別了，伊卡個未吞出去，了，所以伊未按照佢講細佬別解釋，就是講伊未成連貫性就是講when 大擺咱做物件時，咱關咱會卡吞出去，咱對關伊是吞出去上嘅，แล้วwhen 咱卡要放落殼卡嘅時，咱關if 咱關白白啦，伊本是對調伊嘅即個行動。伊心對調伊行動，你看卡放落去，但when 你搞到即個勘站嘅時，尤其家己會發現到，แล้ว伊本會甲細佬報告講伊關到嘅物件是安尼款 ，when 伊卡舉起來嘅時候，伊心是大擺是較快過，伊卡才正舉起來嘅，所以後邊咧都有一個有一個安怎講break 啦，有一個空啦แล้ว when 伊吞出去嘅時候，伊嘅心不是較快過伊嘅行動，所以伊行動大擺是慢一步嘅，แล้ว伊關伊波多碰起頭落嘅時，情形不是相嘅，所以伊關伊嘅波多碰起嘅時候，แล้ว when 伊要落來時伊有一個空有一個站對嘅一站，所以伊會when 即種嘅yogi啦when 伊關到即站嘅時 ，when 伊甲細佬報告嘅時啦，意思是講即個yogi伊已經開始了解到即個別嘅法啦 ，sensation 伊開始要去了解蝦米是叫做別啦，特別。講即個yogi會關到安尼款嘅情形唔是講逐日擺伊坐落去伊就會關到安尼款嘅情形發生就是講when 伊會波多伊關到碰起嘅時伊碰起要落來時未伊要落來時伊就有一個啥到甲碰起伊到一站伊斷去แล้ว伊別去แล้ว再來落來。伊袂是講直直接落去，然後再站斷 when 你落是落到了针对了，伊个来看到碰起来所以成日講下，安尼塊情形會發生，就是講因為即5項嘅物件啦，人嘅心5項5到9啲啦，是真正平均加真正用嘅事，人個會看到安尼塊情形啦。特別過後看到這情形，when 這5項嘅物件伊佢在無講真正用嘅時候，人嘅ယောgi佢就未看到啦。所以好陣時是安怎做咧？ယောgi佢是愛直直去觀咯。when 十相浮起來是愛觀十相when 無管蝦米物件浮起來伊腦戳掉嘅時，伊特別觀戳掉所以伊特別慢慢佢再訓練起來，可以定力，佢再用起來。when 伊定力，佢再用起來嘅時候，伊佢再會觀掉所以這物件是無講直直有嘅啦所以特別人直直要訓練無了嗬，人佢再訓練可以嘅心，佢再集中起來，可以用起來時，人佢再會關掉所以這個就是when 成日都講when 這人教個ယောgi教個這勘站，人講伊是教個邦加尼亞啦，意思就是講嗬，這個人 already伊嘅心是真正用啦伊嘅定啦，伊嘅這地位Vipassana 是個用個有力嘅啦 ，strong and powerful Vipassana，俾你搞這勘站時。
At this level of insight, at this powerful Vipassana, all forms and shapes are not distant anymore in the yogis observing and noting mind. The shape and form of the abdomen is not distant anymore. The shape or the physical features of the body also are not distant anymore. Only the manner of the movements are clear and distant. Only the nature of the phenomena are clear and distinct. When one observes and knows rising, only the stiffness, pushing, and tension are experienced to pass away in a fleeting manner. When one observes and knows falling, only the successive movements of the falling, the vibration are experienced to pass away in a fleeting manners. All these passing away are experienced very distinctly, as if with one's own eye. As one continues observing and noting in this way, and as one's concentration and insight get mature, strong and sharp further, not only the objects of meditation pass away swiftly, but also the observing and noting mind is perceived to pass away swiftly. As one observes and notes rising, the rising movement is perceived to pass away very quickly. And the observing and noting mind also passes away very quickly after it rises. As one observes and notes falling movement of the abdomen, the falling movement is experienced to pass away very swiftly, and the observing and noting mind also passes away very quickly after it arises. Then the yogi comes to know that the object of the arising and falling are impermanent, as well as the observing and noting mind. Impermanence is as you know in English word. It is known as anicca in Pali, right? Anicca. We are very familiar with this Pali. Yes, we have come to know this Pali word anicca since we were very young from our parents and teachers. Now, we are experiencing this anicca in our body. So, it is wonderful. We have found anicca, impermanent nature in our body.
咁落嚟使多解釋講，為咗講個即個抗戰嘅即地位嘅事啦嚇，即個抗戰嘅地位是隨咗是真正勇嘅啦，真正powerful嘅地位啦。所以講嗬，舊家即個抗戰嘅事嗬，即係尤其一啲關於不多旁起個塔路嘅事啊，還是無關一啲關一啲行線啊是蝦米，係咧形啊，物質嘅形啊，已經啊看唔清楚了。對嚟講啊，伊看到嘅物件，伊觀到嘅物件，唔是迄個形啊，伊觀到嘅物件都是迄個只只物質嘅，伊屬實嘅，即個伊嘅nature，就是講伊嘅質啊，你就像人講啊，伊嘅寬啊，就是講，when 伊啲寬波多碰起個塔路時，伊唔是看伊波多啲大粒，特別伊是啲觀到伊嘅即波多啊。叮當，是伊感覺到啊，介暗呀，你知伊波多介暗呀，伊波多啲經條不行，經條嚇，when 伊波多啲when 你風地接來時，伊波多啲碰起來時，伊感覺嘅物件，嗰了時嗬，只即個風節嘅，只伊嘅寬啊，伊嘅人講冇話講伊嘅 nature 啊，伊嘅 characteristic 啊，嚇，所以。常常嘅，when 伊啲關伊波多塔落時，伊唔是看到伊波多啲邊呀，特別伊是啲感覺嗬，when 伊風出來時嗬，伊嘅波多啲叮當 vibrate 啊，冇話講嗬，所以嗬，伊嚇，然後伊安尼講，伊一個叮當呀嗬，然後就無了，所以伊講，即個物件甲了嗬，伊觀到嘅迄個物質嘅物件，伊形啊，伊觀甲真正清楚。一個發生了，佢再別去，嗰一個佢再浮起來，看到佢再別去然後when 這yogi啦，伊安尼看啊，直直觀到啦，即個物質正嘅情形啦，伊啲叮當了安怎，伊慢慢經起來不多眼這就是即個風質嘅正嘅伊嘅形啦所以when 伊直直觀想嘅物件啦，伊心無走啦that means 伊有定力咯，伊心無走嗬，伊觀想嘅物件有定力，佢看較準，所以伊嘅地位就慢慢直直成熟了，咪做啦，伊看明白了所以嗬你講唔是講迄個物質伊看浮起來伊一下就別去真正快，伊浮起來伊袂講直直伊嘅情形袂講直直無變嘅，伊袂講直直叮當上一個位伊走來走去伊袂講直直眼但是伊嘅靈因為伊嘅波多佢在塔落所起風嘅時浮起來呢，然後伊佢在無去所以伊直直觀伊嘅mind伊嘅心無走，然後伊觀即個物質直直變化就是浮起來個別個再個隻物件浮起來個再別可個再我真幾擺，然後伊慢慢看到物質了嗬，然後伊本慢慢感覺到這個心觀本是想我觀到這項物件，伊浮起來，伊觀到了，伊就無了，伊把物質浮起來時，個再觀，迄個心觀呢，迄個物質無了，伊心本無了所以伊觀到原來我觀的唔是講物質伊按怎講伊生了不滅， 原来我心本是想我关了吼，伊就back去啦，物件无我本被关掉了哈，所以安尼款啊，伊用安尼款的方法啦，伊伫看这个心甲物质哦，原来人变化是安尼快啦，伊的生命是安尼快的，所以吼，伊慢慢伊家己会了解到，这就是咱细细汉咱出来，咱爸妈，咱先生教人，咱细细汉呀，咱来这活动什么教人，这物件讲是安尼咋，巴利话叫安尼咋，就是讲无常的，这个是因为咱去细细汉时，咱去活动，咱去学堂，咱爸咱妈教人，教了世界物件是无常的，这是咱知啦，特别当今咱来这边训练这地位线的时，咱是家己经验到这个无常发生伫咱家己的身躯的时，所以咱吹到，咱看到，咱了解到，这个无常是真正发生伫咱本身的身躯，心甲身躯。
Why do we realize anicca in our body? Because we have directed our mind towards the cessation part of all phenomena. This is in accordance with the instruction by the commentary teachers. They instructed yogis to incline their mind towards cessation of phenomena or impermanence. The same is true as we observe and note as lifting, pushing forward, and dropping down. As we observe and note lifting, the movement of lifting is experienced to pass away in a fleeting manner, and also the noting mind passing away very quickly, very swiftly. As we observe and note pushing forward, we experience the passing away in a fleeting manner of the forward movement, and also the noting mind passing away very swiftly. As we observe and note dropping down, we also experience the passing away in a fleeting manner of the downward movement, and also the noting mind passing away very quickly. Then we come to know that the physical movements of lifting, pushing forward, dropping down is impermanent. And the observing and noting mind is also impermanent.
Chào lô lại, sẽ đó con, hâm biết dù lắng leo cái tiểu chỉ lệ anicca lấy chỉ lệ bổ sung lấy, lắng leo cái tôi sẽ in họ, lắng sima lắng u anh cho con chuẩn bị lại chấp xíu chỉ lệ bổ sung là sang cái sinh xe cá trẻ lắng hoạt động cái sinh xe ít bộ cả lắng con cả học sinh con chỉ lấy sim cái léo cho con chỉ世界裡面嘅léo啦是無常嘅啦，正常嘅啦，成日諗啲訓練行先嘅事原來卡啲春起來嘅時了行起來嘅時春出去嘅時加放落嘅時啦伊是嗰啲啲變化嘅伊形啲變化，唔是講形啲變化呢，咱觀掉伊嘅行動即個卡啲行起來春出去放落嘅觀嘅心本啲變化，本是浮起來了別去，浮起來 别去，关掉脚夹起来，浮起来，然后我再别去，然后关掉脚伸出去的时浮起来，关然后脚下落去的时，我再是我一个浮起来别去所以安尼款咱伫关咱会经验到加了的物件啦咱所经验到的加了的物件，咱所关到的加了的物件啦无管是迄个行动object 啦伊的形啦加了是无常的然后关到这个目标物质的物件，加了是无常的。接落来咱家己再关到对这个心伫关这个物质这个目标的物件常常的，伊本常常的迄个物质的目标本是无常的因为伊一个浮起来迄个心伫关呀，接落来过一个沙压，伊过再灭去了过再浮起来迄个关的心看伊脚夹起来，过再灭去了过再过一个心关的心浮起来，讲关这脚伫伸出去过再灭去了，然后过另外过一个关的心浮起来，关这个脚伫放落来所以过再灭去了所以安尼款伊家己慢慢直经验着啥个物件，然后伊心无走，伊看准准，毋是看准准甲迄个目标的物质的目标尔，伊要看准准就伊心原来本是直变化的生甲灭，生甲灭，所以伊正会了解讲原来这关的心本是无常的。Done.
The swift and rapid successive passing away of these mental and physical phenomena is like torture, suffering. This swift and rapid successive passing away is really like torture, torturing nature, tormenting nature. And to follow, to observe, and to know on all these rapid passing away is also really very tiresome. This is the nature of suffering. Suffering is an English word. In Pali, it is known as what? Dukkha. Yes, dukkha. How can one prevent all these first happiness, torturing sufferings? How can one prevent all these first happiness, torturing sufferings? There is no way to prevent them. They arise and perish on their own accord, thereby torturing yogis. It is their nature. We cannot stop them. We cannot prevent them. It is uncontrollable nature. Uncontrollable is the English word. It is known as in Pali, Ananta, uncontrollable nature, Ananta. So, we have found out these words, Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, since we were very young. Now, we are perceiving them in our body through Vipassana meditation. Yes, we are very familiar with the three words, Anicca, Dukkha, Ananda since we were very young. Now we are really experiencing them in our body through Vipassana meditation.
Chậm lại sẽ đó con về năng khai始了解到这类是好啦这类生别啦是真正好伊讲咱会阻止伊哦咱会使有办法可以卖发生哦安尼苦的安尼互咱受苦的这个情形咱特别经验咱会使可以卖发生哦tapi sorry okay let me repeat Dhamma miss key 伊讲Sayadaw讲 when 咱直看到这个生灭这伊浮起来或者别去浮起来甲别去无管是咱的关注的目标物质也好生命好伊直安尼款生甲别伊真是真正安怎讲是真正互人艰苦的一项舒适的情形啦特别when咱伫观咱明白讲这个变化生别的变化是安尼看的啦咱看咱坐先一点钟咱看伊的生灭伫一点钟内面是安尼物件伊直看这个无管咱管啥物目标浮起来伊不是浮起来要别去浮起来要别去咱佫是安尼看的咱看久咱就开始感觉到真闲啦闲因为咱感觉哎哟看安尼款的物件介苦尔哎哟物件伊是袂永远的伊生了就是别生了就会别所以咱会慢慢会了解到这生别是事实是真正苦的啦所以这个苦咧巴利话咱叫做啥物dukkha所以咱家己真正慢慢开始了解到啥物是dukkha因为伊生了就是特别别了伊生了就会别个安尼看when咱会训练咱会Vipassana when咱会这个行啦真用的时咱看更加清楚所以成日都讲安尼款苦的物件咱有材料可以卖发生所以成日都讲这个是白啦伊是真自然的物件啦咱无办法去阻止伊可以卖发生的啦因为伊生甲别伊就是这个世间定律的嘛伊 nature 的嘛伊生就是别的嘛无人有材料会阻止伊可以卖发生的无可能互人控制到的啦所以这袂控制物件啦伫这世间世间物件袂互人控制巴利话是叫做啥物咧Anatta所以伊讲咱细汉咱已经开始学到这三个字anicca无常的物件甲咱是带来苦的dukkha所以咱家己经验到dukkha看生别物件无永远的伊发生就是会无去发生就是会无去所以这物件咱佫袂阻止伊互伊卖发生所以这个是Anatta就是无我伊袂互人去阻止的所以伊讲这物件咱细汉咱都已经甲咱先生学到啦所以伊讲特别当今咧伊正发生伫咱的身躯互咱家己观到了解到所以伊讲这就是这Vipassana 禅when 咱伫训练这智慧禅的时候咱就是会看到咱细汉咱先生教咱爸母教咱的这无常苦甲无我毋是讲是一个道理尔伊是事实的物件了伊伫发生伫本身当今发生伫咱的身躯了因为啥物事伊是事实的 because 咱家己观到咱家己经验到伊的苦甲经验到伊的安怎去讲伊的无奈咱袂去控制伊
Practicing Vipassana actually means to observe and note the phenomena so as to perceive anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Is there any statement in the literature to prove it? Yes. There is a statement in the literature to prove, you know, to observe and note the phenomena, to perceive anicca, dukkha, anatta. But now the time is up. So we will stop here and continue tomorrow night. We will continue this topic tomorrow night. Okay, we will recite Imaya, right?
Yeah, Imaya.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. OK，所以接落嚟成日都講哦，所以咱訓練這啲為先到底是做乜嘢咧？你講咱訓練這啲為先啊，正嗬，就是啲觀啊，觀即個正舒適嘅世間法，就是講係咪無常、苦加無我啦？這都是正咱訓練這Vipassana先啲為先嘅目的啦。所以Sayadaw mui, tapi di dalam hukum裏邊有安尼款嘅按照講講法咯，嚟證明講佛加即個地位線是因為要互人去觀加了解並被即個無常苦加無我嘅咧。Sayadaw講有hukum裏邊，咱真正會找到伊嘅證據啦，證明講佛有講。安尼款嘅法啦嚇，所以因為當今漸寫教啊啦嗬，所以講馬仔咩伊會接落去教人歸水啦嚇，所以接落來在度會教人白白念即個即伊瑪雅啦嚇，人develop 人嘅慈愛心加分享人嘅功德嗬，加人嘅眾生所以人對在度念，在度但。
Sadhu, 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 Imaya. Together.
Unmute,
Imaya. Dhamma Dhamma Patipatiya. Buddham Bujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya. Dhammam Pujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya. Dhammam Pujemi. Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya. Mada Pitaro Pujemi.
Imaya Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatiya. Acariye Pujemi. Hari Muji Sari Idam Me Punyam Asa Ayawaham Hotu Idam Sila Magapala Nyanasa Atayo Hotu Imam
Magapala Nyanasa Pachayo
Atayo
Hotu
Imano
Imano Punya Baga
Bagang
Sabasadanan Dima Sabi Sada Sukida Homandu
Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu
Kibalulam be free from COVID-19.
Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.